Good morning, everybody. Yeah, yeah. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 496 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Everybody can
Yes.
see we are back. We're here with Father Mike. Derpy's in the house. Mike Rock, Mike Rock in the Catholic priest vibes today. He's a big Penn
Yeah.
State guy too, so I don't know. I'm getting
You're not liking the vibe I'm putting off.
I am not.
Neither am I. I can't get my lighting right. I look like like a diddler. If
You
anyone
just
ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Frank, I'm not a diddler, not a diddler, and he looked like a diddler. That's how I feel like right now, and I don't like it.
you're really disturbing my inner child, I have to say.
I'm disturbing every child within like a 50-mile radius of me, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not liking it. But it is what it is, boys. It is what it is.
Good morning. This is the show. Welcome back. There's Derpy. There's Mike. Got lots of things to talk about today, guys. Um, Mike, I got a question.
Yeah.
All right, so just recently we figured out a different way to end the show.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the middle of what we do now and what we were doing? Because now it seems like we're on the screen for extra 10 seconds after the show's over.
That was me yesterday. I kind of just forgot to like go back and hit end.
Okay, and like it was the day before too. There just has
Yeah.
to be somewhere in the middle. Like before we
Um.
were we were still
Well, wait.
talking and the show was
Yeah.
ending. Now we're done for 10,
We just
15
stand there.
seconds.
What we
Yeah.
can do is when the show ends, Ryan, you exit out. I can throw up a little end screen for us. Might just be the logo of the show.
Wait, hold on. You were cutting out. You could do what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You and Derpy head on out at the end of the show. I'll throw up our
Hmm.
logo at the end, and that's all people will see for a couple seconds is our
That's
logo.
a good idea. I like that.
I thought
That's
about
a
that
good
Now
today
idea.
too, as I was fiddling around with stuff, and I was like, I think the boys would like this idea. Mike
now
had a good
you're
idea.
now you're putting the brain to work, Father Mike.
I had a couple drinks before the show, so I'm good.
Just like a priest. Look at you. You're following all the ain't don't the priests they drink the wine back there and
Yeah,
look at you.
yeah.
Look at you.
You
Just in case
know,
things don't work out in life, you could always be a priest.
you can get ordained online. That's all I'm
You
saying. Type
hey,
in, spend some money. I can perform your wedding. Hey, I'm your guy.
you have the look though. You got the shirt on, and it looks like you got the little white up here in the front with your.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know if I like it, but I like you being a priest. I think that's funny. But there you go. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Brian on the board. All right, I'm echoing. Derpy, stop. Whatever you're
Yeah,
doing.
that's derpy.
Mm. So I hear this morning Eric Bieniemy, since he didn't get signed anywhere, he might be going back to the Chiefs coaching staff. Any validity to this, Mike?
I saw that too. Nothing. I didn't see anything definitive unless it changed, like since I saw it as well. But far as I know, he's still a coaching free agent. But it wouldn't surprise me if he would go back to the Chiefs. I would like to see him come here and be like a passing game coordinator and assistant head coach, something along those lines, kind of like how we did with Brian Flores last year. Or hey, we need a new wide receivers coach.
Yeah.
Can he coach wide receivers? I don't know if he ever had that in his background. I forgot to look into that, but I would like to add him to the offensive staff. I would love to have him there, like presenting ideas. Because it's strange that he has not landed a head coaching job yet. He's been one of that guy for a long time now. Like he's the next guy. He's the next guy. He's the next guy. He just hasn't had the opportunity. Hasn't even really, I don't think, interviewed for a head coach or only had a handful of interviews. So it's surprising, but if nothing
What's
works
his
out, I can
pedigree?
see him go.
I mean, obviously he was with the Chiefs when they had a decent amount of players on their team and offensive players, and then he moved on. And where does his pedigree actually seem strong to most people? I'm just trying to learn because I obviously like everybody else get
Yeah,
this shoved down my throat that this is the next big guy. This guy's going to
yeah,
be the next kind of big. But you know what? Personally, I don't see it. I think that yeah, good.
yeah. He's been let's see, his he started out at a high school. He was assistant coach there, but then he went Colorado running back coach, UCLA running back coach, UCLA running back coach slash recording coordinator. Then the jump to the Vikings as running backs coach, assistant head coach in 2010. back to Colorado as offensive coordinator for a year. Chiefs for running back coach from 2013 to 2017, then offensive coordinator 2018 through 2022.
Because here's the way I see it. Eric Bieniemy. Now, I mean, he was a running back for Colorado, so
Yeah,
chances are of getting that gig are pretty good for somebody like him. And then he was, the Chiefs coach as they had all this talent. And as you
yeah.
see over the years, they shed a lot of talent. Or Tyreek Hills, and
Mm-hmm.
all these players that are shed that one might have said, you know what, look at all the great things he's done to that Chiefs offense. However, now the Chiefs offense doesn't have half the talent that they had when he was coaching them a
Yeah,
lot of the time, and
and
they're
they're still,
still landing in
yep.
the Super Bowl. My question is, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out where the Eric Bieniemy is the top one of these top dogs coming up through the ranks. It just seems more like it's being put in our faces, and I'm just trying to figure out on my own end
Mm-hmm.
where this is coming from.
Yeah, and that what you're saying right now with the enemy could be applied to a lot of the offensive coordinators that were just hired because a lot of them were in like more or less his same position of like a receivers coach, a quarterback coach. Why would they be that guy? And he's been lucky to where he's been, they've had really good offenses. Now, did he help design the plays? Did he help design the game plan? And like Kansas City, like you said, they had a ton of talent. Did he really help progress some of that talent? And then we see when he went to the Commanders, the offense really wasn't that good. It actually like
That's
their
what I'm
numbers
saying.
regress some, but they don't have a lot of talent down there too. So is he a great offensive mind or landed into a lucky situation? So you really can't tell,
Right. That's
you
what I'm
know.
getting.
Yeah, but I think he has an offensive mind, and I think any coaching staff would love to have him just to pick his brain, even
Yet
if
nobody's signing him.
down at like he didn't do a whole lot in Kansas City, but you figure being around all those great offensive minds, you would pick up knowledge. Any team would want to pick his brain. I don't know.
Speak
I just and like the what you're saying with him. I see what you're saying. You keep hearing that he is that next big thing, but we're not seeing it.
right.
And my thing is too, like, my God, like all these people that have just been hired, is that in the same boat? Are they in the same boat of
I'm
we're
just
being
wondering
told they're the next big thing?
why
Will they
he's
be the
left
next big
off.
thing?
All
Yeah.
these other guys are being hired though. Why is he being left off of
Yep.
he's the one that still doesn't have work.
Yeah. Which is, crazy considering his resume. But maybe, maybe he doesn't interview well. Because I know I've worked with people that, I thought they should get promotions. They have a bad interview because they don't interview well, but they know their stuff. Is that part of the problem with him? He's just a bad interview and that scares people away.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
a yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't I like I said, as you start to peel back the layers, I'm starting to
Yeah.
wonder more and more what it is about Eric Bieniemy that everyone loves so much. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
look back and I try to I piece it together, the only thing that really stands out to me is I'm just being told over and
Yeah.
over and over that he's
Yeah.
this really good assistant coach and he's going
Mm-hmm.
to do great things. But I'm personally, as I look into it, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
You know,
And I see what you're saying too, because a lot of it is too, Derpy, I'm echoing. You're killing me, Smalls. But no, yeah, I feel I'm starting to feel the same way with him. I thought like 2 years ago he would have been a great hire for a head coach or offensive coordinator somewhere else outside of Kansas City. And the one time he gets the chance, he kind of fell flat on his face. But like I said, is that circumstance and situation of where he was only able to get a job at that Washington's not a well-run organization.
speaking of great offensive minds, the great Matt Canada interviewed with the Raiders yesterday, talking about
Oh
an
God.
organization that's really bringing it together. This Raiders team, huh?
Good luck with that.
Well, hey, they lost out on Cliff Kingsbury, so the next logical progression is Matt
Matt
Canada.
Canada, right?
Matt Canada. What do you think offensive minds? Cliff Kingsbury, Matt Canada. It's like Socrates and Plato.
Yeah.
I almost said Socrates. I watched Bill and Ted the other day.
Yes, Brian on the board. Derpy would be Mike's altar boy.
I hate you guys.
If you like what Mike's wearing, wait till you see what Derpy's wearing. That's all I gotta say.
Or what
Also,
he's
guys,
not wearing.
I know. Also, Hines Ward being considered for the opening for the wide receiver coaching job that Mike was talking about at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is a guy that's kind of been there. He's done that. He's failed a little bit of coaching in the XFL, as we all remember last year. I wouldn't hesitate to interview him.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with interviewing him to see, has he learned anything since he left the Jets?
If he could teach these guys, these receivers that we got how to block, I think that's a huge plus. And these guys, if anybody needs a lesson on how to block.
Yeah, that's about it. Can he teach them how to? I don't know. I was going back through stats from like the Jets receiver staff when he was there. They weren't great numbers, but Sam Darnold was the quarterback. So
that explains it.
But we're not
does it or does it not? It's kind of like the Eric Bieniemy argument, situation and whatnot. But this is a guy that was the only coaching job he's had in the NFL. So if he had success in there, people saw on film, like, hey, the receivers he had, did they get better watching the film? Were their routes better? What, was their concentration better? You would, that film would be out there and teams would be knocking down the door to get him, and no one's knocking down the door to get Hines Ward. Except for Steeler fans, because he was a great Steeler.
Well, he was a great Steeler.
He was a great Steeler.
There's only about 4 coaches out there, though, that the people are really knocking down the door, and they've all just signed to pretty shitty teams. There's a lot of questions still what's going to happen with this Bill Belichick situation down the road. I could always see him taking a year off and then popping back in somewhere in an ideal situation.
Yeah.
I thought with having Justin Herbert down there in Los Angeles,
thought that was going to be.
I thought that was going to be his move. Unfortunately, he missed out on that. Jim Harbaugh takes that spot, being the head coach of the Chargers. Former Whippeal standout and Bears offensive coordinator Luke Getsy has been signed by the Raiders to take on the same role that he had with the Bears. He was offensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. That's what he's going to be doing for the Raiders. He was a Steel Valley star quarterback back in 2002, 2006 before he went to Pitt. He did get hired, so he may be working. He may be working with another Pittsburgh connection, Matt Canada here, if that's how it plays out, Father Mike.
I look for that Raiders offense to score maybe 6 points, 7 points a game. We saw what Luke Getsy did in Chicago. I was not impressed. I'm not impressed with Matt Canada did here. Yeah. I guarantee you in college,
the Raiders
would have a great offense in college.
The Raiders are really, really setting the world on fire.
Yeah. I like their retention of Antonio Pierce. He rallied that team and got something out of them at the end. I thought that was a smart hire. Now the Raiders are doing what the Raiders do. They do dumb stuff. And I can't wait to see what athlete they overdraft that's not good, but had great measurables. They're all going to channel Al Davis here. So, it's one step forward, 4 steps back for the Raiders, baby. That's what they
do. Luke Getsy did beat out Mike Sullivan, the Pittsburgh Steelers assistant coach who went for that Raiders offensive coordinator job.
They're picking the best and the brightest out there.
They go out, and if they would land Eric Bieniemy, it would be like walking.
That would be a smart move. Yeah, that would be a smart move for them. But it's like the island of misfit toys, like always with the Raiders, and they wonder why they can't win.
So again, they hired former Whippeal standout from Steel Valley Bears offensive coordinator Luke Getsy is their offensive coordinator. He beats out Mike Sullivan. They were talking to and interviewed Matt Canada yesterday. So if you're a gambling man or a woman this coming season, maybe you just want to bet against the Raiders. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Charlie Partridge, the assistant head coach for Pitt and defensive line coach, he goes to the Colts coaching staff. So there's another local move going on. Charlie Partridge, which I'm happy with this. I as a Pitt fan, I'm ready for Charlie Partridge to be gone. So good luck, Colts. He's your problem now.
That's like whoever gets Matt Canada.
Yeah.
We will send you a gift basket. If you can take Mike Sullivan off our hands, we'll send you an additional gift basket, a 2-for-1.
We'll send it through a screen.
I'll spend the money, and I'll spend it out of my own pocket.
Former Titans offensive lineman Taylor Lewin, which we spoke a lot about last year. He was, a lot of rumors that he was going to come here and give us a little bit of offensive line help. He makes the statement. He says Arthur Smith makes the Steelers a deadly team in 2024, Mike. So there's somebody else who has your back in this argument of Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
You and Taylor Lewin.
Who would have thought me and Taylor Lewin would agree on something? I knew he was a misunderstood genius. Their offense was pretty potent.
Preach it, baby. Preach it, Father.
It was pretty potent. Hey, it could be the drinks talking. It could be me actually just trying to be positive for a change talking. But you know what? I'm a little excited, but you know what happens when I get excited, man? Everything comes crashing down on me. That's why I'm usually negative, but I'm going to try and be a little bit positive this year when it comes to my sports teams.
So that is today, as far as of right now goes, a lot of coaching moves still happening. All the head coaching vacancies have been filled, but assistant coaches still moving around the league. And as we started at the top of the show, it looks like Eric Bieniemy just might land back on that chief staff. Which, you know what, Mike, I think that's best case scenario for Eric Bieniemy. Maybe to go back and build a little bit more stock up on his end. Stick around for a season 2, have some success, and then maybe take another shot at it.
Yeah, get the bloom back on the rose.
Yeah,
since it was kind of blowing off down there. Yeah, you like that one, Derpy. I'm glad I was able to actually articulate it. But I think that would be a smart move for him. And worst case scenario, your offensive coordinator for Kansas City for the next 8-9 years with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. Talk about an easy gig.
Yeah. Even if he's not winning Super Bowls every year, he's still going to make you look successful as a coach, as an assistant coach, as a coordinator, just because he is what he is. And you know what I mean? That's not a bad gig. And like I said, as you said, if he could go back and just get that bloom back a little bit, maybe a season, 2 seasons, I think he could land himself a pretty good job just coming off of that. And then what goes on beyond that, who knows? Mike, the Steelers are one of 9 potential opponents for the Eagles in the opening game in Brazil this coming season. This is going to be the first game in Brazil, the first game of the season. Philadelphia Eagles are the home team in this game. We are one of the 9 away games. One of our 9 away games are the Eagles. So we are a 1-in-9 chance, Mike, of playing as of right now in Brazil to open up the season against the Philadelphia Eagles.
You know what? Give it to me. Give it to me. I want to be that Friday night game. I want to see what happens to this team down in Brazil. I want to see who gets arrested down there. I want to see who gets kidnapped down there. I'm all for it.
Why they got to get arrested, Father Mike?
Well, you know what? You know what happens when you leave you go to a foreign country, man. You got to go out. You got to explore. You got to have some fun, baby.
You know what you're going to see? You're going to go there and you're going to see a bunch of people wearing their Ravens and Lions Super Bowl shirts is what you're going to see.
Exactly. But you know what? I'm for it. I think it would be kind of cool, kind of fun to be one of the first 2 teams playing down in South America.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Would be cool. It might fuck Steelers up, the rest of their season. But
here's the thing: the Steelers equal ratings. You have a team between a game between 2 teams that are interstate. You have that game as the first game in Brazil, the first game ever. I think that rocks the ratings. Of course, you're going to be able to throw in any team. Like I don't know who's on the Eagles' schedule at the moment, but if you do have like the Chiefs or the Bills or somebody like that, that's always going to be a good game too. But you know what? As I said, you have these 2 PA teams. Pittsburgh always does great in ratings. I think that would be great. I think that'd be really cool, Mike. As you said, I don't know what that would do to them the rest of the season. You kind of want to get on track, get in your mind and go.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that'd be pretty cool.
I'm down for it. And you know what? It doesn't cost the Steelers a home game, so that's even better right there. Be our away game for the year. And you know what? Take a nice little 2-week trip down there to start the season. Treat it like a Super Bowl, since we won't be back there for another 10 years.
Speaking of our Steelers, guys, the Pittsburgh ranks as best city for football fans for the 6th year in a row, despite what Father Mike says. The 6th year in a row, Mike, we are the best fans in football.
I saw that rating too. I don't know how they came about it.
The silence is deafening.
It is silent. The silence is deafening. We are a fickle fan base. So
fickle.
I'm fickle.
Yeah.
I see Heinz Field half empty with the team has a winning record just because they don't like the way we're winning. So
That's what you do. You fight for your right. You don't show up and you
fight
make
for
the
your right
team.
to party.
Yeah, and you make them, as we say over and over on the show, and there's something that you don't like, just don't go. Make them make a move.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
and that's what they did. Guess what
yeah.
they did? Like when we did this, the stadium was half empty. Guess what they did? They fired their offensive coordinator halfway through the season.
Yeah.
That's never been done before. So
Never been done before.
Maybe that holds a little weight.
There we go. Times are changing in the Berg. But you know what? As much grief as I do give my fellow Steeler fans, because I fall in that same boat too. We are fickle. I'm fickle too with this team, but we do support our team no matter what. We will sit there and complain about the team, but we will watch. We may not watch the game, but we will follow it. Wow. Bald-headed. Well, okay, yeah, you're right. I am bald-headed.
That was a derpy brain shot. I just have to say, derpy.
Bald-headed freak.
That along with other things, Mike, we do have to talk about today. Derpy has been doing a lot of work and sending it over to me. You're falling behind in this category. I got to tell you.
That you know what? That's fine by me. That's
Derpy.
It makes my work schedule better. It works for me.
He wrote a song about you. Anyway, we'll get.
You know
to
what?
that.
That's fine. As long as I just
and,
have to read sports articles, I'm fine.
And we'll get there. So don't you just relax, Father.
Ron is right. Seattle has very fickle fans.
Before their Super Bowls, there was no Seattle fans.
No in there. Yeah.
And then when they won the Super Bowl, everybody was a Seattle fan.
Yeah.
Where's all them Seahawks fans is what I want to know.
Yeah.
They disappeared.
They are. They do disappear. And I am that Steeler fan that in every game, even when we were winning those Super Bowls, I was ready to cut, trade, or fire everyone involved in this team after every single loss or after every single half of a bad game, and then that we turn out to win. So yeah, I am just as bad. I project my own faults upon Steeler Nation.
We were talking yesterday about the possibility of Le'Veon Bell maybe coming back. He's very interested in making a return to the NFL, and the only team he wants to play for is the Steelers. Cam Hayward welcomes him back with open arms. Cam Hayward, it's a guy that I'm not even sure I want on this team, is welcoming somebody else back with open arms.
Well, because Cam Hayward knows, Le'Veon Bell and Ben and AB, their offensive output, hid the fact that defense was actually kind of flawed. So maybe he wants the more offense to the offense gets to blame in Pittsburgh. The defense is giving up 35, 40 somewhat points per game in the playoffs. Cam wants that. He wants to be protected. So get Lev Bell back, take eyes off of him, put him on Bell.
Cam Hayward, there you go. Not even sure he's going to be here, but
he wants Lev Bell.
He wants Lev Bell.
Now, this is why players should never.
Somebody who hasn't
have
played in the league
in
a number of years now.
Exactly.
He's
Mr.
PR. Cam Hayward is Mr. PR.
He is Mr. PR. He's going to have a great career in the media.
He's going to smile.
It'll be better than his playing career.
Say the things that you want to hear. Oh yes, Lev Bell, come back. We love you.
Yeah,
the guy hasn't played in 5 years. Come on,
Cam is a bullshit artist.
He is a bullshit artist. You have all these guys that are coming up 20, 21, 22 years old, and he loves the idea of Le'Veon Bell, who hasn't played in 5 years, coming back. Yeah. That's just what we need, Cam. Great.
Now, is he coming back from a time machine and coming out as prime Lev Bell?
If he was, I'd be on board.
Oh, me too. I'd be like, yeah, you're RB1 at that point, bud. But at 31 years of age, that's when most running backs who continued to play have fallen off.
The Kelsey brothers, now on their Twitter, they have a best team name poll going on.
Mm-hmm.
They're down to their final four. Between the Kelsey brothers, best NFL team name, they're down to the final four.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks as this. In the NFC, the Eagles and the Vikings. And then in the AFC, the Steelers and the Bills. And I just want to throw out there that Jason Kelsey's a heavy favorite on the Steelers name. He thinks that it's root or awesome and fantastic in the meaning and the symbolism on the helmets. And so I'm liking the way that's going and how that feels. But yeah, we are. The Steelers are in the final four of the Kelsey's best team poll from the NFL, Mike.
And I think the Steelers are the best name in football.
It has the most meaning out of pretty much everybody. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It defines an entire area.
The Minnesota Vikings. Come on, how many Vikings do I I don't
Yeah,
know much about Minnesota, but
it's a nice sounding name. It's a hard sounding name, but like Buffalo Bills. Do you see a lot of Bills running around Buffalo? No.
I'd like to see the worst name finals.
It
I
would be the
guarantee.
Browns,
Well, the Dolphins would have to be on there too. I think.
Dolphins.
Talking about
Ah,
an non-masculine name.
yeah. Yeah, but there are dolphins are like murdering, raping sea creatures, man. They're
Yeah,
evil.
I want more rapists. That's what. Give us more
Well,
rape, Mike. You with that shirt on today?
I know.
Really just need to shut up.
I walked right into that one. My bad,
Drinking.
boys.
You got your pre-shirt on. You're talking about raping and
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
making
was
me
feeling.
uncomfortable. You're making Derpy uncomfortable.
I know. I know. I thought I'd have a drink and it would put me in the right frame of mind, but it has not. It backfired. It backfired, Ryan. I was pumped today. I was full of energy and excitement. I don't know. This played
Some
my hand.
NFL. We talked a little bit yesterday about these Pro Bowl games, and I'm not going to talk about the Pro Bowl games. I want to talk about a
Yeah.
particular person or two. How much more of these Mannings can you take? And Peyton, he's semi funny. Don't get me wrong. He's okay. I could manage him and his big
Yeah.
ass, his big forehead, and his terrible sense of humor. But you know what? Eli Manning is one of the most unentertaining people I've ever seen. I've ever seen in my life. He's just dry and innocent, and I think dry humor is funny, but he's
Yeah.
not dry humor. He's just dry. He kept like saying things, and the players would like totally contradict what he had said and made him look
Yeah.
stupid. And then he also does this thing where he kind of stands or like he has this gut. I don't know if you notice like just some of
Yeah.
his mannerisms, but he'll stand like, but he has no gut. Like it's just he stands like a weirdo the whole time, like his gut sticking out. I don't know how much more of this Eli Manning I could take. Again, like I said, I could take Peyton in small doses, but I'm about Eli'd out, Mike.
Yeah, I can take both of them in very, very small doses. Um Eli Manning, when he did his Chad Power skit up at Penn State, I thought he was funny playing
That's
that
because you like Penn
character.
State. Everybody else is like, okay.
No, a lot of people love that.
I know a lot of people that hated it too. They thought it was
It's
retarded.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. But
but
Eli,
the haters. But no, like I can take them
okay,
both in small
okay,
doses.
Father, forgive me for I have sinned, as
Bless you,
Ron
my
has said on the
child.
board. But
But no,
I'm just I'm
getting
Eli'd out at this point. I just don't know how much more I could take of this guy.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
I
he's
turned the
very, very
channel.
dry.
I turned the channel a few times whenever he was on there,
Yeah.
and like I said, he was like,
He's at his best when he is needling Peyton, when he's doing that little brother trying to push Peyton over the edge, trying to get under his skin. That's when he's at his best,
I mean, he's like
especially in the
trying,
Manning cast.
and he's a terrible ad libber because they're all out there having fun and they're all just kind of going
Yeah.
with the flow. And he, there's just this one particular part where he's like, "Yeah, we were working real hard on this for the past 2 weeks." And they asked the player, I think it was Aiden Hutchinson, maybe, and they said, "What have you been doing to prepare?" And he's like, "Oh, we really haven't done anything at all." So I mean, it was just Eli
Yeah.
trying to.
Yeah.
I'm just so I
You know,
meant to
him
talk
trying to
about him
like
a little bit
set them
yesterday.
up for like the joke, him trying to be the
Right?
straight man. Yeah, and it just fell flat. Yeah,
Is there
see,
nobody else out there that could do this job?
no, they
Can Eric
ESPN hitched
Bieniemy
their
have this
wagon.
job?
I think Eric Bieniemy might be better than Eli Manning at this job.
I think so too.
You know, that's what I'm
Patrick
hearing. That's what I'm
Starr.
reading. Patrick Star, deep
Patrick
cut.
Starr.
He's, you're going with what
Dauber.
Nickelodeon right there, SpongeBob. You know what? He might actually be better than 90% of the announcers right now, Derby.
Former Patriots running back Rex Burkhead. Everybody remembers Rex Burkhead.
Barely.
He announces his retirement after 10 seasons. Yeah, I didn't realize.
I didn't know. I thought he
Burkhead was
already
still in the league,
retired.
but he did come out of that weird tree of players that Bill Belichick created out of nowhere. Your
Yeah.
Danny Woodhead and your Rex Burkhead and all these guys that were just medium, average size white guys that would never really pan out in the NFL,
Yeah.
and they really haven't. But he is one. Mike
Yeah.
Rex Burkhead has announced his retirement after 10 seasons. Rex
But hey,
Burkhead.
good for him, man.
Retirement.
Played that long, won how many rings?
Yeah,
Shit.
for not being that good. Hell,
Hell
your
yeah,
career.
I'd take that job.
Here
Walk
are
around
guys.
with like 4 or 5 Super Bowl rings.
Here is your top 14 starters in the Super Bowl. A lot of controversy being made this past week over Cam Newton's comments about Brock Purdy being the 10th best player on the 49ers offense. I'm going to give you guys on this is integrated. This is your top 14 guys This is your top 14 guys, your top 14 starters playing in the Super Bowl this week. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right, here it goes. Number one, the best ranked starter in the Super Bowl this weekend, guys, is Patrick Mahomes. Number one, Mike. Any disagreement, any agreement, any comments on that? Number one, the best player in this Super Bowl,
no.
Patrick Mahomes.
He is that guy.
Yep. He's him, as the kids would say.
Number two, Christian McCaffrey,
Ooh.
San Francisco running back.
Yeah. He's up there
according to CBS. CBS has these numbers out.
Yeah, because he's up there for offensive player of the year. So yep.
All righty, guys. Again, ranking top 14 starters in the Super Bowl this year. This is integrated between both teams. Number one, Patrick Mahomes. No arguments there. Number two, Christian McCaffrey. Again, no arguments. Number three, Mike Durpee. Everybody on the board. The next person on this list of top starters in the Super Bowl this weekend is Trent Williams. Trent Williams.
Yep.
Ooh.
He might be the best left tackle in NFL history.
All right. Mahomes, McCaffrey, Williams. Number four on this list. Anybody want to take a guess who they think number four might be? Ranked players that are playing in the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go with either Kelsey or Fred Warner.
All right, Derpy.
Kelsey or Kittle.
All right.
Oh, I forgot about Kittle.
The next number four, the best ranked players this weekend in the Super Bowl. Number four is Travis Kelsey. No surprise there. He could have fell anywhere in these top. As I said, I think number one is automatically going to be Mahomes.
Yep.
But, 2 through 5, I think Kelsey could have fell anywhere in there. Kelsey, number 4. Number 5, guys, the fifth best player, according to CBS, playing in this week's Super Bowl, Chris Jones, Kansas City's defensive end. Chris Jones, number 5.
The way he's been playing.
The way he's been playing, yeah. And there's probably like a couple players after him that those next 3 to 4 could flip in any order.
Okay. Number 6.
Ron, the best starter is Taylor Swift.
Number
exactly.
6.
Exactly.
Nick Bosa, number 6
on
this list.
I forgot about Bosa.
Mahomes, McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Travis Kelsey, Chris Jones, Nick Bosa, number 6.
Nick Bosa, yeah, because he came on later in the year after his little preseason holdout, so I gave it to him.
He didn't perform as well as these other rushers did, these other defensive ends / outside linebackers, I guess.
Yeah, but he still put up pretty decent numbers.
He's good for what he is, and you know what? He might just well be the 6th best player in this game. Number 7, fellas, Fred Warner from the San Francisco 49ers, who Mike mentioned earlier. Mike, you feel comfortable with Fred Warner being the 7th best player in this game?
Yeah, he might be the best inside linebacker in the game.
All right. Number 8, George Kittle.
Yep.
George Kittle.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he could be walking downtown Beaver Falls doing what they do downtown Beaver Falls. But yet he suits up and he still manages to be a good football player at the end of the day. So you know what? Number 8, George Kittle. Mike.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, he looks like he'd be, heading to the court and heading to court after the court.
He looks like he would have needles hanging out of his arms.
Yeah, a couple baby mamas floating around. Yeah, he does fit in the Beaver County vibes.
He does. Number 9 on the list of 14, the 14 best ranked players in the Super Bowl this weekend. Number 9, guys, Trent McDuffie, Kansas City cornerback. Yep. Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
You guys agree?
Yeah. I think him and Snead. Oh. That's a tough one to pick.
Debo.
But yeah, I can see him up there. Damn good corner.
All right. Number 10, 10 of 14.
Don't we all have the Beaver fever?
Wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. Now, this is a person that we got a heavy dose of in the first game of the season.
Yeah, we did.
Speaking of the Steelers 49ers game, from what I remember, and the highlights I've seen, he had a very good season. There's a lot of things in the middle.
Like 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. Yeah, he had a damn good season.
Yeah. I was very impressed with him from what I've seen this year. But as I said, there was a lot that I didn't see. I didn't see him during the time when they had their 3-game losing streak. I didn't see him, but from what I saw from Brandon Ayuk, Mike, number 10, the 10th best player in this particular
Yeah, I have no problem putting him in the top 10. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the NFL, actually.
All right.
Fake Taylor Swift on Ralph's show today.
Number 11 out of 14. This is your 14 top ranked
All right.
players in this week's Super Bowl. According to CBS, number 11, Debo Samuel.
Yeah.
Debo falls in 11. Is
Debo,
that
yeah, he's still good, still effective. We you can see what happens
Deebo's
when
been
he's
out.
not in that lineup. The offense can suffer a little bit because he's just that guy you can put anywhere in the lineup.
all right?
11 sounds right.
11 sounds good, Derpy.
Yeah.
All right. Number 12, Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey.
Ooh.
The
My
center.
guy.
Mike loves Creed Humphrey.
Love Creed Humphrey.
Derpy.
Mike, number 12. Of all the players in this game, all starters, all 44 guys,
Mm-hmm.
he's the number 12th best.
Yeah. He's that effective at center. He's that effective at controlling the middle of that field,
All
middle
right.
of that offensive and defensive line. Yep. Dude is a beast.
And the
All right.
Steelers could have had him, as Mike said.
Could have had him twice. Could have had him twice.
Oh, Mike does not let us forget that, believe
No,
me.
I will not. I will die on that hill.
All right, we're down to the last two players. These are the
Pass it on
top
to Paulo
14 ranked players that are playing in the Super Bowl this weekend. Number 13, guys, according to this list, is Brock Purdy. Mike, Brock Purdy.
What
What do you think, Cam? I mean, Mike.
I'd still put someone like L'Jarius Sneed above him.
I would agree.
But the numbers don't lie. Lies,
Right.
damn lies, statistics, but numbers wise, yeah, I'd have no problem putting them here.
Good morning, Ralph. And then finally, number 14, L'Jarius Sneed does come in at that last spot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically what you said
Yeah.
could have really went either way. Sneed, he falls in that top 14 for you.
Oh yeah. I this is a guy, if he hits free agency, everyone's talking about Steelers going after Jalen Johnson from Chicago. L'Jarius Sneed will be another cornerback to look at. I think this guy's
Go get the
damn
guy
good
who has
player.
a winning pedigree for once. Quit giving us guys from the Jets and yes.
Well,
Quan-
sometimes you can't.
Quan was good and this guy was good, but you know what? A guy comes from the Jets, a guy comes from the Commanders. I want a guy that has a little bit of a winning mindset as well. Every once in a while wouldn't hurt.
Sometimes
look
when
what
you get
Landon
drafted
Roberts-
there, you
look what a Landon Roberts brought to the team. There's just a certain
Yeah.
people that are good.
James
at
Farrior came from the
for a
Jets.
short time brought to the team.
What's that, Derpy?
Said look at Quan Alexander for his injury prone
Derpy.
season.
Yeah.
Look what he brought to the team.
So that is your
but Quan was bounced around. He was on some good teams, though.
You know what? We kind of had the debate. I mean, with these guys, really, were they injury prone before they came here? Were they not? But here's the thing. Going into the season, we had in our mind that these guys were, they might get injured. And what happened? They got injured.
They got injured.
So do what you want with that,
Well, and like we said, when you pointed out, like the contracts of the top three guys on defense eating up that much of the cap, you have
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
You got to bargain shop. You got to buy the lemon and roll the dice, baby.
You got to get Cam out of there. You got to come on.
Like him, Allen Robinson, just for contract.
If he's not going to take
Allen
that
Robinson's
pay
gone.
cut,
There's no way
you got to
he's
get
coming
rid of him.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Cam Hayward is unwilling to reconstruct, you got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't care that you have to.
Yep.
For the betterment of this team, you have to do that.
Yeah. And then maybe with that freed up cap space, you can go out and get one of those top tier free agents instead of going from looking in low tier 2, high tier 3, trying to get the bargains in the reclamation project, or the guy, if he stays healthy, is going to be really good. That's what happens when you spend to the cap every year thinking you're putting out a good team. It's a give and take.
Yeah. So here are your top 14 players according to CBS, I'm sorry. The top 14 ranked players in the Super Bowl this weekend, guys. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Christian McCaffrey. Number 3, Trent Williams. Number 4, Travis Kelce. Number 5, Chris Jones. Number 6, Nick Bosa. 7, Fred Warner. 8, George Kittle. 9, Trent McDuffie. 10, Brandon Ayuk. 11, Debo Samuel. 12, Creed Humphrey. 13, Brock Purdy. And finally, number 14, L'Jarius Sneed. I got to tell you, I mean, whatever way you take and shake and rattle these 14 players around, That is a bunch of star power right there,
Yep.
guys.
That is a
You
lot of
have,
star power.
geez, oh man, there's not many names on this list that you just wouldn't want to have on your team in general.
Yeah.
This is a list of players, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and God, a lot of them too are just now entering their prime.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part. And you know, people like Kelsey, who you don't know what he's kind of like Crosby. Like, is he ever going to drop off?
You're right.
And it's kind of weird. They're about the same age too, and they're still producing this well.
You're
Nuts.
right. Ogunjobi's another one. Sorry, Ralph on the board.
Ogunjobi too.
Yeah. Who did I
Yeah.
say? Anyway, yeah, Ogunjobi. Something's got to go give with him. One thing or the other. He either has to go or he's got to play better. It's just, he's been solid, I guess. But I mean, we need playmakers. This defense, obviously, in the playoffs,
They disappear.
first season, year after year after year, they tend to disappear. They let up that big 90-yard drive when you cannot afford to let up a 90-yard drive. Some of these players are dead weight. And you know what? I get as much I wanted to give Ogunjobi the benefit of the doubt. He's falling in that category, guys. He's falling into that dead weight category for me.
I think like Ralph said, they can restructure his contract, and like according to like over the cap, if they do, they can free up like 9 million, 9.7 in cap space with a little bit of dead money in there, so around like 6 million in cap space, and I think that'd be better than cutting him.
Something's got to give.
Yeah.
They're one of those things, or like I said here, you just come out and perform better, play better.
Yeah, if they restructure, I'm sorry, it'd be for around like 4.2. If they cut him, there'd be like a $6 million saving. So one of the two.
Look at all the money they could save if they would cut these guys.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that they can cut to save a lot of money.
In the high school ranks, I was reading this, guys. 2 top Central Catholic freshman players transferred to Aliquippa, but from what I understand, they're from Aliquippa. These kids, they transferred out of Aliquippa to go to play for Central Catholic because it's a bigger school. You might get more recognition. Now that the school is a 5A school, they are transferring back as freshmen to their team. So is that really a transfer if they're really from your neighborhoods and so they're starting to, they're starting to take a little bit of a beating here because, this Aliquippa team's taking transfers. Well, these kids literally live in Aliquippa. I mean, how much problems could you give this team? Just let the kids play like everybody else. They're working their asses off to get out of the neighborhoods that they're in and make something for their life. And all you're doing is making them giving them a harder. You're trying to set them up to fail. It's bullshit.
It is. And I say this at work. You see someone who does so well, so people give them more work. It's success tax, and that's what's happening to Aliquippa. They're being so successful, so now they're being overtaxed. We're going to make it even harder for you to succeed. And like you said, a lot of it is the neighboring school systems crying about it.
Absolutely.
It's like you guys are you have higher enrollments than this school, and coach better, put out a better team, do something.
Put money towards your school.
Yeah.
And here's one thing: there's one day a year you play this team. Okay, so let's say you lose this one game here. Again, these guys are fighting to get out of the bad situations they're in their neighborhoods, and so for one day a year that you lose these people, you were so upset with this community that you were going to try to set them up for an entire failure. Like I said, they're trying to get out of. I don't know how much bullshit could Aliquippa face, guys. I hope they go to 5A. I hope they win a state championship, and you know what? They're running out of classes to put them in.
ACC next year, baby. ACC, the Big Ten the year after.
Preach on.
That's where they're going to be. It's a joke. And then what happens once these kids start getting hurt? Because you're going to they're going to have the smallest roster against any team that they're playing against, and so
which they already have. I mean, it isn't like
it's going to be a safety issue at some point. And what happens when kids start breaking multiple bones, multiple kids having broken bones, multiple kids having multiple concussion issues, broken, what's going to happen with, a kid, something happens to their spine or their neck.
I got to say this.
It's ridiculous.
I'll put my money on Aliquippa. Those kids are tough. I think they're going to be breaking the necks of the kids in the 5A.
They'll be so pissed off. They're like, you know what? We're taking our anger out on you guys. We're going to show you.
My money's on them.
Yeah.
I'm taking Aliquippa.
It's like betting against Patrick Mahomes. You just don't do it.
Right.
Mike, Ryan,
Yes.
Yeah.
I said this to Ryan the other day. I don't know if you paid attention, but in Ohio terms, for this situation, this is they basically moved up 3 divisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
That's
did.
exactly what it is. Yeah. I caught that part of the show when you were talking about that. Yeah, that's exactly what it is for our listeners in Ohio. They moved up 3 divisions. It's nuts.
Because they started out in Double A here.
Yeah.
That's where they should be.
Yeah. Then they volunteered to go to 3.
They volunteered to go to 3.
Yeah.
And then they got bumped up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then now bumped up to 5.
Yeah.
And
So
I
they
love
took
the
it
fact-
upon themselves to,
And I love the fact that they still keep winning. This is fantastic.
It's the
That's-
best. It's the
It
biggest
makes you look
FU
better.
they can do.
It makes you look better. Whatever makes you look better.
Guys, 2026 World Cup final will be played at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Mike, this is
Mhm.
right up your alley. You love this soccer.
I
You
love
this.
it. I love it.
What do
I
you
love
think?
it.
Is this big news, Mike? 2026 World Cup finals will be played at MetLife
Yeah.
Stadium?
The biggest sporting event in the world to have.
Mike,
it,
you could
the
drive there within, I mean, 5-6
There
hours.
was-
Yeah, but driving around that area, hell no. You think the roads in Western PA are
Well,
bad?
it ain't New York
It's even
City, it's
worse.
New Jersey. I mean,
Yeah, but it's
gonna
even
be
worse in New
packed because
Jersey.
of world.
So many toll roads and everything. Traffic's going to be a nightmare up there. That
But
field's gonna
besides
be a
that,
mess.
Mike, is this not a big? I mean, this is.
It
this
is a
huge.
big. It is a
It's
huge
very
deal.
big deal.
Cricket and soccer, the 2 most popular sports in the world, and to have the
Cricket?
yeah. Oh, cricket is huge. It's
I literally
popular-
never, ever,
huge.
ever in my life heard anybody talk about cricket.
over in India, Pakistan, it's a huge.
Oh,
And that's where
that's a good reason why.
But no, like population wise, viewer wise, billions of people over there. Most of the world's population over there, so they love that shit, and
I've never heard
they
anybody
love
mention
soccer
cricket.
too. Yeah,
Soccer, of course.
well, yeah, soccer, yeah, but cricket's huge over there, and they huge population. But no, having the World Cup here is huge, and then now they at that stadium they have to replace it by 2026 with natural grass because FIFA says, "Oh, I hate traffic. I hate driving. I hate traffic." But no, FIFA says you have to play on natural grass, or they have to replace the grass there, which is good because a lot of people get hurt on that.
There were
turf they
so
have
many
there
memes
now.
yesterday about that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait till Mbappe blows out his knee at MetLife Stadium. That's what people want to see.
Mike hasn't left his house in 6 years. He hates traffic so bad.
I hate traffic. I hate it. I love downtown Pittsburgh, but I hate driving there. I prefer to drive through Cleveland and Columbus. It's so spread out and wide open. It's easy to drive through.
Speaking
I
of,
drove through Atlanta. Atlanta sucks, but it wasn't bad because everything was wide open. But Pittsburgh,
speaking
man, I
of
hate
Brian
driving
on the
Pittsburgh.
board, I do want to say this. I got this off of him the other day. I seen he posted this. New York Knicks. Now, if you can help me with this last name, if you can, I understand. Ryan Arcidiacono
Sure.
for the New York
Not
Knicks
sure.
became the first player in NBA history to play 20 consecutive games without scoring a single point.
He's my spirit animal.
He's almost Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Like what are his defensive metrics?
I don't know. But I just thought, how fascinating. What a number
How
that
can you
is.
not get a buck? And then you got like average people going, "Oh yeah, I can score in the NBA."
You're right.
You got someone who's in the NBA who can't score.
At least he got
Yeah.
paid $250K.
I just thought, what an interesting number.
That is nuts. Hey, it's like the guy in baseball that's batting like what .90 on your bench because he has a good glove.
Yeah.
You better hope that guy's
Austin
good
Hedges.
defensively. Exactly, the Austin Hedges.
Oh, thank God he's gone.
And then won a
then
World
he goes,
Series.
yeah, he wins a World Series when
Yeah.
he leaves here.
He falls backwards
Unfucking
into success.
believable.
He failed upwards.
Jason Spezza, guys. Jason Spezza, the
Yeah.
assistant coach for the Penguins, longtime NHL player. His brother Matt died over the weekend of an accidental overdose. Mike, his brother, was he also in the NHL at one point? Matt Spezza?
I don't believe so.
Okay. I always remember
I
Jason
can't
Spezza.
remember yet because when I saw it too, I was reading some articles about it, but I don't remember anyone mentioning that he made it to the NHL.
Okay. For some reason, I thought he would. I thought Jason had a brother in the league. Maybe it was a different
I-
brother. I
yeah,
could
I
be
can't-
wrong.
Yeah, I knew Jason for sure up there in Ottawa, but I can't remember Matt. Mm-mm.
Penguins back in action tonight. They host the Winnipeg Jets at 7 o'clock at home. The Penguins coming in with a 22-17-7 record, hosting the Jets, who come in with a 12-5 record. Mike, big game. I mean, this is right out of the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Penguins, they get this win over the 30-12-5 Jets at home tonight?
No. Especially if we go on the power play. We're clicking at what, a 13% rate. That's not good. They did change some
with
things.
The guys
the
we got,
play.
That's insane to me. With the guys we have, that's insane.
Yeah, Malkin and Carlson were bumped down to the second power play. Letang's back up in the top unit. Riley Smith is taking Malkin's spot. They're going to move some people around on the power play where they position them. The main thing is they got to shoot. They got to stop looking for the pretty pass. This has been a plague of this team since the 90s, man, is trying to always find the pretty pass. Just grip it and rip it sometimes, Look at the Capitals, man. They grip it and rip it, and they have a high success rate.
And they have no problem ripping it. They get the puck in and they're just, they fire away. Yeah. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. And
the thing is, you got to remember, you have more than the other guys. So let's just say if you turn the puck over in the zone, and they come up, they only have 4 guys. Chances are you're going to be able to come down on them with that man advantage, get the puck back. A lot of times it seems like they're trying to get that perfect shot because you know what, you don't want to give up that advantage. You have a man advantage.
And we've given up 5 power play or 5 shorthanded goals. And with those on there, that would take you down to like a 10% success rate on the power play, which is a joke. And the power play needs to run through Crosby. He needs to be the distributor on that team.
Absolutely.
He's still one of the best passers in the league. You got guys who can grip and rip that puck.
He does it full strength every game. The guy, scoring he's doing.
Yeah.
Why you don't have him in when you have a man advantage controlling the power play is stupid to me. Mike, is Jake Gensel, is he gonna a lot of talk about him being traded, him going somewhere else? Is that ultimately gonna happen with Gensel?
I don't think so. Crosby still has a lot of pull in this team, and he wants to play with Gensel because he's one of the few wingers in Crosby's career that knows how to play with Sidney Crosby. And I think they're going to ride it out with this season, and then he'll walk in free agency. Because I like the return that you're going to get for him. Some players have, he's going to go to a contender. So if you get a first round pick, it's going to be a very, very low first round pick. Unless you're getting some grade A prospects that are almost NHL ready. I don't think it's worth the trade. I don't want them to re-sign him because it's going to be like a 10-year deal worth, $8 million a year. And he's already 29 years old in that range, 27, 28, 29. And he gets beat up a lot. It would just be stupid to sign him. And I just play it out. One last run to see if they have anything to make it out of the first round of the playoffs.
Good morning to P as well on the board. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website? Man, we'll get into this. We'll get into some trivia.
The Yinzers.com over there. We got all of our social links. We got our merch store, got the blog, and like I said yesterday, once we get closer to the combine, there'll be more activity on the blog, especially with mock drafts and players to watch. Maybe some sleepers there, put in like who to look for in the later rounds, stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to be draft heavy.
Probably starting up in a few
weeks. Yeah. In a few weeks, that was going to start heating up more and more.
There you go, everybody. Go check that out. www.the2dumbyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinzers.com. A lot of cool things over there. Go check it out. Here is the question of the day, guys. The question of the day is a Super Bowl trivia question because we are heading smack dab into the Super Bowl. And just a week from today, we're going to be 2 days done with the NFL season. Guys, here is the question of the day. Derpy, Mike, guys on the board, people at home, here we go. What team played in at least 4 Super Bowls and have never held the lead? Which team played in at least 4 Super Bowls and never held a lead? Go ahead and think that over, guys. If you need choices, I'll give you choices. We are live 5 days a week, everybody, right here from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every day. If you missed the show in the morning or you just rather listen to the show that we do live every single day gets uploaded over on Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. If you're at the gym, you're in the car, you're just taking a walk, you want to pop your earbuds in, listen to the Two Dumb Yinzers live every day, Spotify, podcast form. Check it out.
Ooh.
All right, guys, question of the day is this. What team played in at least 4 Super Bowls and never held a lead? Derpy, Mike, either one of you guys need choices.
I don't.
Derpy, I have to send out the
I'm gonna go with my gut today.
You're going with the gut? All right.
Go with the gut.
All right, guys. Question is, what team played in at least 4 Super Bowls and never held a lead? Nobody wants choices. I'm going to start with Mike. Mike, who do you think?
I'm going with the Bills.
The Bills?
Bills, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was the Vikings.
All right. Derpy, what team played in at least 4 Super Bowls and never held a lead? Looks like the Bills are so far the heavy favorite amongst people participating. Who do you think, Derpy?
The Bills.
The Bills as well. Now, is this your final answer, guys? Can I lock you in place? You okay with this?
Yes.
Mike?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to lock you guys in. You guys are locked in. Question of the day, fellas. What team played in at least 4 Super Bowls and never held a lead? The answer to that question, guys, everybody says the Buffalo Bills. The answer is the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings,
God dang it,
never held a lead one single time in any of the 4 Super Bowls. The Bills are a safe bet. I think they may have taken like a 3-0 lead in one of them blowout losses at some point, and also the 20-19 loss to the Giants. I don't know how the scoring played out in that, but I can imagine that may have been at some point they may have had the lead. But Minnesota, guys, Derpy, if I would have gave you the choices, let me ask you, the choices were the Vikings, the Bills, the Bengals, or the Redskins. Would that have helped you any?
I probably would have went with the Vikings.
You would have went with the Vikings? Mike, if I would have said the Vikings, Bills, Bengals, Redskins, would you have stayed with the Bills?
Yeah, I would have threw the Vikings on there. I threw it up in chat, and because I knew they lost 4. I just couldn't know.
Yeah.
You know what, Ron? I should have. That's what I get for going against my gut.
Yeah.
Pray for my sins. I need to buy one of those. I need to buy a priest collar. Fuck.
Well, you're
choke
extra,
myself.
your extra white ass skin does well enough.
I know. It's
from where I'm
really
sitting
pale today.
From where I'm sitting, you look just like a priest.
No, he looks more like a
Hello
monk.
there, Mike.
Hello there, Mike.
He looks more like a monk.
Yeah.
A friar, okay. Friar Mike.
A couple things, guys. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
I got nothing.
Derpy, anything
what about the song, Ryan?
I want to talk about that in a second. Give me a second.
Yeah, we're getting there, Derpy.
A couple of things that I do want to say is the 6 pairs. I don't know if you guys seen this of Michael Jordan's last shoes that he wore from the 6 times he played in the finals. So the 6 times he won the finals, the pair of shoes, the last pair of shoes he wore, they are up for auction. These 6 pair of shoes, guys, $8 million. $8 million for 6 pairs of shoes.
I know, I'm good.
What if you were rich? What if you were
I know
filthy
trip
rich?
matters, but
if I was filthy rich and I had money to spend, yeah, I'd buy them.
You'd buy them. 6 pairs of shoes, 12 shoes, $8 million. And it would be hard to live with yourself. You know what I mean? Every time you looked at them, like, fuck.
But if you had like to where $8 million was, nothing money, you're like, yeah, I bought those. Why not?
Yeah.
Be like, oh, looking at one of these jerseys back here.
Who is all in them jerseys, Mike?
James Harrison, Santonio Holmes, Sid the Kid, greatest hockey player, and then another James Harrison.
I just always wonder because the microphone's in front of one, your head's in front of the other, and the other one is sideways. The only one that I could actually see is number 10, but I did want to make sure we made that clear. We do want to thank everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we wouldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board, of course. These guys always keep things interesting each and every day. Guys, anything else before we get ready? I do have another. Let me talk about this. Now, Derpy wrote a song. And he did it with, well, listen, he did it with the help of AI. And it's very interesting because it's good. And I don't want to ruin it by talking it. I almost kind of want to see if I could get a chick, maybe get like Morgan Gruber to sing it, but it's about you, Mike. And it's actually it's based off of like that Taylor Swift song that's popular now that everyone I don't know anything about these songs that she has, but I just think that it would be amazing. I'm going to hold on to it, Derpy. I don't want to put it out there just yet because it's actually very good. Derpy and AI created this song. So Derpy, I am going to drag this on a couple more days because I'm not sure how I want to present it yet. All right.
All right.
You just hang in there. Also, guys, one other thing I do want to say, Facebook is 20 years old as of now. Facebook is 20 years old. For the first 5 years. For the first 5 years, they did not have a like button, guys. Facebook, 20 years old as of today. And for the first 5 years, they didn't have a like button. So there
we go.
There's a fun fact.
One more year and it will be able to drink.
That's right.
I'm going to go watch The Social Network now.
That was a great movie, Derpy. I was just thinking about that.
You don't want to get together with Derpy and watch it, do you?
No, I'm good, bro.
Okay.
No.
I'm good. Oh, damn, Derpy. You're mean to me.
All right, guys. Anything else? We're getting ready to wrap it up.
You're bald.
Don't be hating on my beautiful bald head. No, I got nothing.
I'm sure it's not that noticeable.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing. It was an old feed. I saw breaking news under Eric Bieniemy.
Bald. But hey, we do want to thank everybody again.
I hate you guys.
We will be back tomorrow to do it all over again.
Mean.
For Mike in the Steeler Central mobile studio. For Derpy, myself, two dumb Yinzers. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.